The Gamasutra Job board is the most diverse, active and established board of its kind for the video game industry. Here is just one of the many positions being advertised right now. Location: remote. Subset games. The game studio behind For and Into the Bridge is looking for an experienced C programmer to work remotely and help manage our growing library of games. Responsibilities: as we are a very small team, you will also have the opportunity to be involved throughout our development process, including working on any new projects we pursue. You will help guide the technical future of subset games, participating in the integration and improvement of our codebase for future projects. Subset games has no office, and as such we have no expectation for relocation. As long as you are able to work remotely anywhere in the world, you are encouraged to apply. This is a full-time position, and we will never expect more than a standard 40-hour work week. You will set your own hours, and we are happy to work around family and other constraints you might have. Requirements: interested? Apply now. Whether you are just starting out, looking for something new, or just seeing what's out there, the Gamasutra Job board is the place where game developers move ahead in their careers. Gamasutra Job board is the most diverse, most active, and most established board of its kind in the video game industry, serving companies of all sizes, from indie to AAA. Looking for a new job? Get started here. Are you a recruiter looking for talent? Post jobs here. The 2019 Game Developers Conference will feature an exhibition called Ctrl GDC that use alternative control schemes and interactions. Gamasutra will be talking to the developers of each of the games that have been selected for the showcase. Gute Fabriek draws a pair of players into a battle of sound and light, having them play dueling guitars to launch magical beams at their opponent. Meanwhile, you have to launch riffs at your foe to stop their magical legs from taking you down. Gamasutra sat down with the developers of Gute Fabriek to talk about how they turn to guitar battle into a crowd-pleasing throwdown between mages, how they helped those with little musical experience still create pretty songs, and how a natural cooperation still came of their competitive music game. We are McInnes, game design, programming and hardware, and Adoné Kitching, game design, production. We also worked with our super talented friends, Johann Sutherland, Arduino design, and Luc Wolthers, art. For the last 3 or so years, we have largely been making games in our spare time, participating in as many jams as we can manage. As our interest in and passion for game design grew, we decided to shift our careers towards making games full-time. McInnes now works as a creative technologist at a company specializing in interactive installations, and Kitching works as a producer at an independent game development studio called FastLED. Our teammates Sutherland and Wolthers work with Kitching at FastLED. Gute Fabriek was built using WS2812B RGB LEDs, the FastLED library, a Teensy and the Arduino IDE. The full installation includes wooden and acrylic panels that sandwich the LEDs and enhance the sparkly effects for maximum magic. We also used modified Guitar Hero controllers, and we will be bringing custom-made wizard heads along to Ctrl
GDC 2019.
Gute Fabriek is a ribbon-based dueling game that takes place across an LED battleground. Players use modified Guitar Hero controllers to fire chords at one another, and in the process, create a magical spectacle of lights and sounds. By taking away the screen, Guitar Wizards brings players face-to-face in an epic battle, and allows for a crowd to form around them. The game can be played competitively, as players try to outmaneuver one another, or it can be played cooperatively, as players settle into a groove and find flow by putting a guitar in their hands and a wizard hat on their heads. Guitar Wizards aims to give players the freedom to perform and to share a moment of fun with their opponents and onlookers. Since we want as many people as possible to experience the magic of Guitar Wizards, we are working on making the game more accessible. We will be bringing an additional set of controllers to the Ctrl GDC exhibition that make it possible for the game to be played one-handed. About 5 years ago, we had a really exciting idea, a fantasy-inspired dueling game, where spells were fielded using gesture recognition gloves. Sounds cool, right? But it was also wildly outside of the scope of our abilities as game designers and developers at the time. Fast forward to 2018, when McInnes happened to work on an LED project, and discovered that our idea could be brought to life in a different way. He figured that the LED strips resembled the lanes in Guitar Hero, so we started exploring the possibility of using existing controllers in a new context. That also sparked our interest in adding a musical element to the game. We both find the idea of casting a spell of conjuring some effect in the world really exciting, and we wanted to try to capture that with the Guitar Wizards. The 2-meter-long lettering creates distance between players, so that they can see their musical spells travel through space towards their opponent. To highlight the feeling of making magic, we added meteoric light trails to the notes, as well as sparkling effects for when they collide. An important design consideration was also that we wanted the player to feel like a badass rock-star wizard, which is at the same time the coolest and silliest thing to be. And that's what we like about Guitar Wizards. It lets you step into that role, and then just lets you have some fun with it irrespective of your skill as a player or musician, a wizard for that matter. The incredible poster art that Luc made, which is part metal album cover and part Terry Pratchett book cover, leans into this idea very nicely. Some of the best experiences we have had at games parties or exhibitions have been around games that are intriguing not only to their players, but also to the crowd around them. We love games like Johann Sebastian Joust, Gute Fabriek, 2013, and the shared experience it creates between players and onlookers while they are being played and watched. Those games create little communities around them. We did a few things to try to create the same kind of experience with the Guitar Wizards. First, because the ladder in it is 2 meters long, onlookers can easily fill up the space between players. We try to ensure that the game is set up on a low display so that everyone can see what's happening in the arena. Each player also has a distinct color, making it easy to follow the action. We deliberately kept the rules of Guitar Wizards simply so that it is easy to keep track of no matter when you start watching the duel. These considerations allow onlookers to understand the game state at a glance and to join in on the performance. For us, the joy of alternative or unique controllers is really in their ability to bring people together, whether it's Guitar Wizards or one of the other incredible entries into this year's Ctrl
GDC 2019.
Alternative controllers invite people to share a physical space, and a moment of silliness, a confusion, a mastery. We think that's really special, and something worth celebrating. Guitar Wizards was built as a competitive game, but during playtesting we found that some players were more interested in a cooperative experience, where they could follow into a rhythm with one another. Even within the competitive framework we created, Players were finding ways to work together, and were using a call and response playstyle. Since this is a really exciting outcome, we are exploring game modes that support collaborative play further. We like the idea of a low-pressure environment, where people with different levels of skill, or even interest, in music, can feel like a rock star. Maybe that comes from a selfish desire, since neither of us particularly good musicians. Sutherland did an amazing job of making sure that the notes that are played are not discordant. You can play them in whatever configuration, and they will always sound harmonious. As the game progresses, the speed at which the notes travel also increases. If you can keep up, which you are bound to with a little practice, you will also get the feeling of playing a lightning-fast solo.